the freak. Alright. Yeah, it's PDK time. Okay. Let's turn off this music. Okay. So we are starting off the third day because it said like in the little email thingy that there is yes, it's so competitive. Yeah, I can tell. I mean, that's good though. You want it to be competitive, but dang, ding, dingity ding. But in the little email, it says there's new updates in what do you call it? Day 3. So I want to start it off. Okay, ready? About an hour or so past sundown, I find myself back in the basement with Theo, listening intently as he talks about the setup. Wait, Minnie, have you already seen the day 4? I got most of this stuff from my old boss, back when I used to 10 bar. Then the old dive bar was approaching its last days. He was kind enough to let me take whatever I wanted. Oh. It was all going straight to the dump otherwise. No, this is my first impression? Okay, I'm excited. I'm excited. We're gonna be like doing this together. Okay. I honestly can't imagine being friends with any of the bosses I've had, or even having a friendly conversation. But it sounds like the two of you were close. Yes, we were. He was very good to me, better than I deserved. He was probably the only person who would have hired me. Where? Was? Do the two of you still talk? So Theo takes a glass off the shelf and wipes at it with his sleeve. Not really, no. He retired and moved down south. Just got sick of the cold. I nod. A common occurrence. Guys, I would move up north, I'm telling you. You'll be joining him soon, right, old man? Any day now, sport. No, the tropical islands for me. Wait, no tropical islands for me. No house on the beach. Winter's in my blood. No way I'm living somewhere without it. Isn't he an Arctic fox? Like, come on. You should have thought that right now. And to be perfectly honest, I don't think I could ever leave this town. Not for good. He absently runs a paw across the dark wood of the bar. I don't blame him for moving though. All his family lives elsewhere, so when the bar closed up, he had no real reason to stay. Ugh, winter? You don't like winter? Why did it close? I love winter. The same reasons most things close. Money. Running a dive bar isn't the most profitable business venture. And in this world, being kind and generous to your patrons tends to put you in the hole. Oh, we have to... Wait, hold on. I'm back. Hope you guys missed me. Promises to keep. Okay, and then promises to keep. Done! Alright, there we go. Sorry about that. He still had plans to retire, so when someone offered to buy the place, he accepted, even though they meant to tear it down. Were you still working there where it closed? I was. Were you upset that he sold it? Not really. If it had happened a few years earlier, I would have been livid. Beyond livid. Inconsolable. But it didn't. And I wasn't. It was time for me to leave that place behind too. Well, not entirely. Obviously, I kept pieces to remember it by. Theo gestures warmly at the fixtures in the basement bar, as if introducing a group of friends. He even let me take some of the booze, though obviously these bottles up here are new. I wander over behind the bars as we talk. My eyes brush the sparkling labels on the shelf, passing them one by one. And then doubling back, noticing a strangely shaped bottle hiding behind the others. Placed in such a way that you couldn't see it from the bar stools. Hidden, but still on display. What's that one back there? I point. His eyes follow and shift from warm, cozy to stormy gray in an instant. Oops. I had to ask. Oh, that's an old bottle of port wine. A very old bottle. It must be vinegar by now. Is it left over from the bar? No. I should probably take it down from there. He makes no move to do so. The poorly controlled emotions on his face seem disproportionate. Clearly, he isn't just upset about the booze being spoiled. Sentimental value? You could say that. It reminds me of someone I once knew. Oh god. Like most things in this house, it seems. Almost everything is a relic from some other time. Ollie's word from earlier echoed in my mind. It almost seems like a memorial. Or a tomb. Well, if it still holds some meaning to you, then you don't have to throw it out. What harm is there to keep it, in keeping it? He considers my question for quite a while. Time to move on, Leo. It's okay, just forget I asked. Searching for literally anything else to talk about, I seize upon the vintage projector and walk over to it, turning my back on the mysterious old bottle. I haven't seen one of these in person before, just in pictures. Really? You've never been in the projector room at a movie theater? Theo seizes upon the new thread gratefully, clearly happy to change the subject. Nope. Well, modern theaters don't use these anymore anyway. The age of film is pretty much over. Funny that we still call these films, even though most productions are all digital. It's like how the save icon is still the floppy disk. You do know what a floppy disk is, right? Chat, do you know what a floppy disk is? If you don't, I'm gonna feel real old. Yes, Theo, I know what a floppy disk is. Of course. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. Okay. Though, I don't think I've ever actually used one. Only Gen Alpha doesn't know. Yeah, that's fair. Well, they sucked. I'm happy they're gone. Film, however, is different. Some people still chose to shoot with actual film, and their numbers are slowly but steadily growing. As more and more things become digital, more and more people revert back to physical media, as they should. The switch to digital isn't always perfectly clean. In film, in photography, in music and art, something gets lost in the translation. Something vital and vibrant. Something you don't even realize is missing. And then you hold an old photo in your paw, and all of a sudden you feel it. Especially with photos, you feel it. Their memory is made physical, a single moment in time that you can reach out and touch. That's the closest you'll ever get to living that moment again. Yo! Okay, memories made physical, captured in ink. Listen to me, Rambo. Something about you drags it out of me. I can't help but smile. I don't mind. Well, would you like to look through the reels I have? Okay, sure. Though honestly, I don't think I could sit through a movie right now without falling asleep. Especially if it's an old movie. Don't worry, I'd be snoring right alongside you. Ah, my heart jumps at his unintentional wording. Instagram Reels reference? You did not just say that. Unintentional, right? Ah, we can just look through the titles, if you like. Some of them aren't even labeled, so I have no idea what's on them. Maybe we'll bookmark one for future viewing? Theo disappears into a side room and returns with a box packed full of film reels. We spread them out on the soft green pool table and sort them into piles. Drama, romance, western, surprising number of westerns, one or two sci-fi flicks, and even an old driver's ed instructional video. No idea how that one snuck into the pile. I wonder what kind of journey this reel took to get there. How many dusty backrooms and thrift stores it sat in before now. You know, sometimes I think I could have been an archivist. Spend all day wading through obsolete media and piecing together old stories. I can picture that surprisingly clearly. Theo bent over a table in some quiet library, surrounded by books, tapes, and documents. It suits him, somehow. Well, what's stopping you? A master's degree. Mostly. Or the lack thereof. I never went to college. Never even set foot in one. Yeah, it's a pretty sizable roadblock. It's fine, really. He says more to himself than to me. I can't worry about what could have been. This is the life I have, and I need to make peace with that. Oh, I love Theo. A lump forms in my throat. He makes a decent point, but something in his tone, his expression, his choice of words, it makes me sad. And I'm not exactly sure why. Time passes as we inspect the stack and inspect and stack the reels, and eventually it starts to take its toll. Theo catches me in the middle of a big cat yawn. Careful, those are contagious, you know? I don't blame you though. You've had a very long day. Too long. Too long. Theo agrees, piling the now organized reels back into the box and lifting it off the pool table. Shall we then? I'm happy to help you move your things upstairs. My heart kicks off another rapid tempo piece. Had almost forgotten. Don't sound too eager, but don't sound uninterested either. That would be great. Thanks. I heft the deflated air mattress over my shoulder with a muffled grunt. I can feel the tiredness settling into my body, claiming one joint at a time. Here, let me take that. You just focus on your bags. Before I can object, Theo swoops in and lifts the mattress off of me. It really wasn't heavy, very heavy, but I let him carry it anyway. Thanks. No problem. Problem. I'll meet you up there. I grab my travel bag and follow him upwards. Okay. Oh wait, right over here. Okay, nope. Wait. Go on in and get set up. I'll be back with some more blankets. I take a look around a little sheepishly at first. It's okay, I tell myself. This is where you'll be spending the night after all. Theo's room is neatish. That's probably the best word to describe it. The bed is made, but the blankets and pillows are a little crooked. The nearby desk is covered with papers and manila folders, but all efficiently stacked and organized. The walk-in closet doors are wide open, revealing a forest of similar-looking clothes. I definitely see 2 or 3 copies of the exact outfit he's wearing right now. That's so funny. It also makes sense for Theo, I know. When it comes to fashion, he's very copy and paste. He did not just call Theo copy-paste. That is so funny. I jump a little when I hear his footsteps in the hallway, still feeling like an intruder. Good. Looks like you're getting settled. Theo is like as old as you. Excuse me. I'm not 30. I hope this space right here is okay. Okay, there we go. There we go. Oh. Theo plops my bag down in a corner and I start setting up the mattress, mindful to leave a clear path to the bathroom. I hope this old thing has been treating you alright. It's been fine, yeah. Not the most comfortable thing I've slept on, but I wasn't about to complain. Oh wait, yeah, we've seen all this. Seriously, I hope you don't mind sleeping on it. I would offer you my bed, but my back would not appreciate it. We've seen days. I can feel the exhaustion as well. Days of poor sleep and near constant stress were catching up to me. Yeah, change. Okay. He finally looks at me, surprise and gratitude rippling across his rough features. You don't remember this? Really? I remember like every single dialogue, Minnie. It was when we went, it was in the the last thing I did. But this is like when we were in, you know, obviously in his bed, we're about to sleep. Yeah. Yep. Apparently speechless. I respond softly, shifting my paws, trying not to sound disappointed. Dude, we've seen all this. Okay, guys, it's time! Yes. The sound of clattering wheels and spinning film. An old projector sputters once more to life, dragging the weary film of memory through its reel once more. Go. Yo! First, an establishing shot. A familiar kitchen, only slightly different. The walls unfinished, the cabinets sparse and damaged, the grass outside green. An expectant scene, holding its breath for a centerpiece. Oh my god! Wait, this is Theo's aunt! Oh my god, she's so pretty. And there she is, sunlight reflecting off to her like fallen snow. She turns as I walk in the door and smiles. There he is, the prodigal son himself. Oh my god! Guys, Theo is emo! Oh my god, he's so cute! Oh, wait, is this like... I guess this is his teens, right? Oh my god, he's so cute. Okay. Hi, MJ. Hi, MJ. Well, come here and give me my hug, or else you don't get any coffee. Young Theo? First, the expected display of exasperated reluctance. Then, the yearn for embrace. She feels thinner than last time. Each hug, there's less and less to hold on to. Bro, you cannot say that. Every time I see you, you look skinnier. I have no words to offer in response, so I shrug. Her eyes comb me like searchlights, looking for sailors lost in the waves. How are you, Theo? I'm fine. You always say that. Maybe I'm always fine. Look at him, oh my god. She's so pretty though. Bro. Maybe you are. She pulls my mug out of the cupboard and fills it with steaming hot coffee. Thanks. You are very welcome. I take a massive, fortifying glug, then force myself to set the cup down. I can't appear too eager. It's good to see you again. Been a while since you stopped by. Hasn't been that long. My stomach growls, but I take the squeak of my chair to cover it. But I time the squeak of my chair to cover it. It's been 2 months. Wait, really? Yes. Last month, I made a reservation for Thai, and you forgot. And this month's movie night, you picked up an extra shift and didn't tell me. Right. If I didn't know any better, Theo, I think you were avoiding me. Come on, Em. You know that's not true. I've just been real busy lately, that's all. Neither of us believe me. She holds a paw of my empty mug. I go and help myself and refills it. You talked to your landlord yet about the laundry? Not yet. Why not? If you're gonna wear the same outfit every day, you need a functioning washer and dryer. Bro, I'm behind on rent, so gonna wait until I catch up before I ask him anything. Even with all those extra shifts, you're still behind? I avoid her eyes. Being poor is expensive, you know that. I do. Anyway, I'm still waiting for Daryl to let me tend bar, like he keeps promising. I'm missing out on tip money. Well, maybe if you look less like a haunted scarecrow, he'd feel better about standing you up in front of his customers. Thanks for the advice. Real helpful. She sets her empty mug down, all business. Jokes aside, Theo, you look a mess. Even worse than last time. Are you trying to make me worry about you? No, obviously not. My stomach growls again, her eyes narrow. And quit picking at your scar. The thing is years old and it still looks like it'll open up at any second. Jesus Christ, okay. Anything else I'm doing wrong? Look, I didn't invite you here to argue. Could have fooled me. Just promise me you'll talk to your landlord, okay? And next time I see Daryl, I'll have a chat with him about getting you behind the bar. If it's the rent that's a problem, I can help. No. I told you already, I don't need your money. Harsher than I intended. but the harshness slips out so easily. Alright then, no loans from your aunt. Not even as a birthday present? My birthday is months away. An early birthday present? Alright. It was worth a try. Let's stop talking about me. What have you been doing wrong lately that I can pick on? Depends on who you ask. Oh, I fricked up my elbow the other day messing with the plumbing. I did tell you to hire a plumber. You did. Was it your bad elbow? It was my bad elbow. Figures. But the upstairs toilet is finally functional, and all it cost me was one elbow. And you know the plumber would have asked for an arm and a leg. That gets a chuckle out of me. This old house is coming alive, bit by bit, especially now I've moved all the furniture in. I'm sure you notice a few familiar pieces. I look down at the pockmarked surface on the reliable old table. You could have gotten a new one, I say, tapping the wood with a claw. I pretty much ruined this thing. Nonsense. It just bears your marks, that's all. Yeah, for my old homework. Nothing important or interesting. It's your childhood, Theo. A time I remember very fondly. That makes one of us. You can just toss it. It doesn't matter. She sighs good-naturedly. She's always so endlessly patient. When I see this table, I think of you. Why would I throw it away? Regardless, it fits well with this kitchen setup. Obviously, it needs some TLC, but this old house still has plenty of life. And you think they were gonna knock it down? Still not sure why you bought it. Seems like more work than anything else. The work is the point. I'm doing something constructive. Labor I can clearly see the fruits of. Rather than just working to stay alive. Oh, she got deep. She fixes me. Then, with a gaze I cannot hold. My heart jumps and I feel the coffee's first violent kicks at my empty stomach. Before I ask the question, something tells me it's a bad idea. I ask it anyway. How's Joe? Haven't seen her in a while earlier either. Neither have I. Theo, we called it quits. I twitch as if it stung. What? Why? She stares at me evenly. You know why. I know why. What's why? I wanted her to move on. To find someone else she could shack up with. For the long haul. And she wanted that too. Okay, so Joe is on girlfriend or ex-girlfriend. I took a few vicious fights and a lot of tears, but I finally got her to admit it. I like Joe. Don't cry, Theo. Don't you freaking dare. I liked her too, Theo. A lot. But it's better this way. No, it isn't. Nothing is better this way. Nothing will ever be better, ever again. Silence settles over us then. He's so emo. A silence so crushing I can hardly breathe. Crushing. Eventually I open my mouth and realize too late I have no idea what will come out. The words tumble out of me anyway. You didn't ask how Brooke's doing. Her jaw tightens. I don't know why I said it. I knew where it would lead. But I just couldn't sit in that silence for a moment longer. I needed to replace it with something. Anything. I'm gonna guess Brooke is Theo's mother? Even a fight. No, I didn't. Why not? Because like I said earlier, I didn't invite you here to argue. Who says we're arguing? She takes a deep Preparatory breath and crosses her arms, mouth set in a firm line. I don't even know why I'm doing this. Preparatory. Preparatory. Oh my god. Alright, Theo. How is Brooke? Not great, if you even care. Her back is acting up again. It always does when the weather changes. How do you say it? Preparatory? Preparatory. I see. Her doctor won't even give her anything for it anymore. He just looks at her like she's got 3 heads. Her mouth tightens further, and I see the tip of her snout twitch. You go with her to the doctor? Yeah, I do. She hates driving. I've told you that before. Yes, you have. Not enough. The terrible silence still crouches in between our words, waiting to lunge. You know, you could at least pretend to care. I do care, Theo. Liar. I feel the sneer split my face and tug viciously at the raw red scar. Anger pokes through her careful, patient facade, and I pounce, determined to drag it out of her. Well, whatever. Not like it matters, right? She's only my freaking girlfriend after all. Oh, okay, so Brooke. I guess nobody's girlfriend matters to you anymore. She bangs her mug down on the counter and takes a step towards me, hackles bristling. I flinch before I can stop myself. I see the shadow of my father in her, in the harsh set of her shoulders, on the thunderous ripple of her brow. Alright, Theo, if you really want to start crap, let's freaking start it. Does that girlfriend of yours have a job yet, or is she still just cashing your checks? No, not yet, but she's looking. Bull freaking crap, she's looking. Well, her back, and why should she bother? She's got you after all. Her meal ticket, her chauffeur, her side piece, her personal freaking punching bag. You don't know crap about anything. Petulant, whiny, infantile. You sound like an idiot. I know a toxic relationship when I see one, Theo. I've been in more than a few myself. This isn't like that. It's incredible, really. The crappy way she treats you. It's like she's trying to push you away. And the worse she gets, the tighter you hold on. You don't. She closes in, sweeping aside my objections with furious ease. Where's your breaking point, Theo? It wasn't the insults, it wasn't the abuse, it wasn't even the other guys. Is it when she gets you evicted from your apartment? I know your rent money's going to her. What the frick do you want me to do? You want me to just give her up? Like you gave up Joe? My voice cracks at a shameful high-pitched whine. Like a bawling child. Freaking pathetic. I draw a sharp, hissing breath and hide my head in my paws. No tears, Theodore. For frick's sake, pull yourself together. After a brief silence, I feel her take another step closer. Her voice, when it comes, is softer now, though just as unforgiving. You wouldn't be giving up. You'd just be moving on. And it's way past time you moved on. I can't look at her. I can't. You know how I feel about her. Honestly, Theo, I'm not sure I do. And I'm not sure you do either. What happened, Theo? Years ago, when she finally started getting wild, you were so ready to break things off. I remember how happy, how relieved you were when you told me. And then... I have to look at her. I have to. Otherwise she'll never believe me. But I just can't. The pity in her eyes makes me want to scream. I love her, Em. You don't even know what that word means. If you did, you wouldn't be throwing it around like that. Theo, when are you gonna stop punishing yourself? When I no longer deserve it. Thanks for the coffee. My chair clatters and squeaks as I get up to leave. I'm halfway through the door when I feel an iron paw grip my shoulder. Theo, I have another follow-up appointment this Friday. My whole body freezes solid, shot through with ice. Like a fox in headlights. Like a corpse who hasn't realized he's dead. I want you to be there. I think you should be there. 1,000 crumbling pillars, collapsing with anguish and white-hot agony, but not even a whisper of breath. Please, Theo? Please, do this for me. Okay. Okay. I'll be there. Probably, I'm gonna think it's like a medical thingy. I don't know. Neither of us believe me. 8 o'clock sharp. I'll pay for your parking. Alright. Dead air. Hang time. A million torturous seconds before the drop in the crunch. Before the unraveling. Before the dreaded, inevitable, inconceivable unraveling. Men can't handle pain. The picture goes white as winter's snow. The reel spins endlessly, clattering film turning round and round and round. Round and round, let's pity burn. Sorry. Over and over and over again. Forever. Yo, I will never forget. Stop! Not Instagram Reels. I blink my eyes open, slowly becoming aware of myself again. A harsh mechanical wheel still echoes in my head, and my chest feels tight, clenched close to my core. A raw, gnawing feeling. Like I did something wrong. Really wrong. Though the details of the dream are already slipping away, her face fixed in my memory, like a ghostly image burned into a screen. MJ. I feel the steady warmth of her arms around me, and my chest tightens further. No tears, Leo. No tears. Gather yourself. It's time to be normal. Without moving, I scan the room. Still nighttime. Or early morning, I suppose. It certainly didn't feel like I'd been asleep long. Just moments ago, I was drifting off to the sound of Theo's soft breathing. A sound I'll no longer hear. I rise as quietly as I can and peek over the top of Theo's bed. Empty. The bathroom door is open, clearly empty as well. Strange, I didn't hear him leave. For some reason, it was hard to imagine Theo moving so silently, creeping gently over my sleeping frame in the dark. What do I do now? I look down at the rumpled sheets on the air mattress, then back to Theo's empty bed. I silently pull on my clothes and exit the bedroom, pulling the door shut behind me. Let's try downstairs first. I pass by the wall of photos on my way down the stairs. I stop, of course, at one in particular. There they both are. Theo's boyish face looks so strange without that jagged scar. I wonder, how many opportunities did he get to smile like that? Truly, how many moments did he experience that filled him with joy? I hear a clattering of mugs from the kitchen and the telltale squeak of a familiar wooden chair. I sweep down the remaining stairs and pad towards the sound. Why does it always feel like the eyes in that photo are following me? Sure enough, it's him, sitting at his usual spot. The fox is tapping aggressively at his phone, eyebrows furrowed, a full mug of coffee getting cold in front of him. He looks almost as tense as I feel. Something must have happened. Theo? Is everything alright? He continues hammering at the screen, offering nothing further. Genuinely unsure of what else to do, I decide to make some coffee as well. Maybe that'll help me think. I make my way slowly over to the coffee machine. I find myself almost tiptoeing, not wanting to disturb whatever he's doing. The gurgling coffee pot seems to take days to fill. Finally, with a steaming mug in hand, I settle down in what has become my seat. Fragments of the dream still smolder like hot coals. I was just here in this kitchen, years ago, and so was he. It's strange. I feel her absence now. I feel it plainly. Is this how he always feels, living in this house? We sit quietly for some time. I sip my coffee. He ignores his. Eventually, I can contain it no longer. Questions about her bubble up like boiling water, and I can't hold them back anymore. I open my mouth and I think Diana, the old ew in number 27, is still in her apartment. Oh. The table falls silent again, save for Theo's frenzied tapping. Are you talking to her now? No. If she even has a cell phone, it would be dead by now. Oh my god, this is a stupid... Guys, we have to freaking take care of that stupid old couple. The one that I hate. And this stupid Ewie, or Ew, or however you say it, the EWE creature. Creature. Oh my god, it feels so bad. Anyway, no. If she even... Oh yeah, I'm talking to the freaking Robinsons in number 30. Sorry, Ruff, I have to go. I can't believe you, Minnie. Bye, Minnie! I'll have this, I'm hosting a hackathon at 7 a.m. tomorrow. Ooh, have fun. Good luck. If you wanna... Bye! I'll be posting this, thing in YouTube, so, you know, obviously. The venom in his voice jumps out for only an instant before he tucks it in neatly again. Yippee! This anger feels new, sharper and... Good night! Sharper and cleaner than the rage evoked by his parents. Who must they be to have earned such ire from Theo of all people? Are they across the street from her? Yes. Another long moment of silence. Theo breaks it by setting his phone firmly on the table, face down. He looks right into my eyes, and suddenly I see the barely contained fury, the panic, seemingly mere moments from breaking loose. They won't agree to let her stay with them. That woman is almost 90 years old. She is tiny and rail thin. If she stays in that house much longer, it's gonna kill her. Well, I try to keep my voice from shaking. I know his anger isn't directed at me, but I feel flattened by it all the time. I see the shadow of her in his posture, just as he saw his father in her. Maybe we pay her a visit and see if she's alright? She's not. I went over there earlier today and banged on the door and all the windows until she answered. She said she wasn't leaving the house until she knew she had somewhere else to go. Only now do I notice the coat draped over the back of his chair, the melted snow still clinging to his fur in patches. How long has he been awake? When I don't immediately reply, he snatches up his phone again and resumes tapping with renewed ferocity. Think, Leo. You've got to say something. I don't know if you already done this, but you could call the Robinsons, like, instead of texting, maybe hearing your... Theo shakes his head jerkily, no longer able to contain the anger in his voice. If I do that, I wouldn't be able to stop myself from yelling at them. I believe him. From his expression, it feels like he's about to yell at me instead. Well, maybe they need to be yelled at a little bit. Maybe they deserve it. No. The volume of his voice rises, the tone sharpening to a lethal point. I know Tom Robinson. I know what kind of person he is. That would only make him double down. In fact, that's exactly what he's waiting for. The moment I start shouting at him, he'll take it as proof as he was right all along. Theo begins to tap his foot loudly on the floor, with such force that the table starts to shiver slightly. I rack my brain, trying to think of something else to suggest. I want to help, but I don't want to make him more upset. Well, what if he brought her here? I mean, I don't want to invite people to your house without your permission, but... Theo raises a paw and cuts me off sharply. You don't understand! I physically shrink into my chair, eyes dropping deep into my steaming coffee. Why do the words you don't understand hurt so badly? Even on her best day, I'm not sure we can get her up on the street, not with this much snow. She's been sitting in the freaking house for 3 days! He's shouting now. The Robinsons live across the damn street. Given her condition, it would be a miracle if we can even get her there. And they won't even open the freaking door. And the last word, he slams the table with a paw, and some lukewarm coffee splashes out of the forgotten mug. The room is very silent now. The kind of silence that only makes itself known after shattering noise. Theo's gaze shifts down to his brown spattered paw. Perhaps some remembering some familiar scene long past. His expression curls into a turbid mix of emotions, all fighting for dominance. There's one thought, however, I can see quite clearly, reflected in his glistening eyes. No tears, Theodore. Pull yourself together. In this silent moment, the eye of the storm, I feel deeply connected to him in ways I didn't before. One by one, his complex feelings come into focus, an inscrutable count, countenance unraveling before my eyes. I feel his anger, of course, roiling closest to the surface. I feel a rage that has been building and building for years, ebbing and flowing, and sometimes abating, but never truly vanishing. It scares him. It frightens him to his core. He fears that one day the dam will burst. The rage will surge right past his defenses, crashing down on him and those around him. Like a tidal wave or a blizzard. Tied tightly to that rage, concealed just behind its thunderous mass, I see his feelings of helplessness, of uselessness, the dreadful following fear that no matter what he does, it will never be enough. The fear brings a singular pain, simultaneously sharp and dull, stabbing and crushing. Piercing swiftly like a knife and overwhelming slowly like a creeping rot. But if you look beneath it all, if you plunge your paws into the fear and the sound and the fury and the search for the source, you'll find love. Love is the source. He fears that his love will go to waste, and he rages at a world that would waste it without thought. I feel that love as strongly as I felt her absence. I feel plainly his deep desire to help this woman, even if no one else will. And I feel my own desire to help them both, in whatever small way I can. In the end, it's really that simple. I want to help, so I will. I swallowed a lump in my throat and forced air through the tightness in my chest. Theo, let's call the Robinsons. We'll talk to them together. If they hear from multiple neighbors, it might help to convince them. Theo, there's no reason why you have to do this all yourself. To do all of this yourself. You never have to do anything yourself. Let me help you. He closes his misty eyes and grits his teeth. No tears. We sit together at Theo's old kitchen table, two cold cups of coffee, and what feels like the entire universe separating us. With only the barest effort, I reach across the universe with my paw and place it on the top of his. He doesn't pull away. Here, now frozen in time, my anxiety ebbs, and I look directly into his face again. Feeling my eyes on him, he opens his. Those warm, burnished brown eyes are as soft and rich as his snowy fur. I could bury myself in them like the softest of blankets. I could be happily lost in those eyes, safe and secure, until the end of my days. I want him to turn his paw over. I want to feel our palms touch. I want him to caress the tips of my fingers with his. But I don't want to ask him. I don't want to speak. Not now. Not in this perfect, unending moment where... Oh. Theo's phone buzzes, vibrating the table. Our eyes instinctively flick towards it, breaking contact. In an instant, the universe collapses. The space between us shrinks again, and the awareness of how close we are crashes down on me all at once. I feel a hot flush of I feel a hot flush shoot through my face. Theo gently removes his paw from under mine and picks up the phone, and then sets it back down and slides it across the table towards me. His expression is even more now, more like the Theo I've come to know over the past few days. Well, shall we? Shall we? Give them a call. Right. That is what we're doing right now. Come on, Leo. Focus up. Yes, let's. I'll start, just so they know I'm present. No complaints here. With a surprising surge of confidence, I hit the call button. And said confidence immediately begins to ebb as it rings and rings and rings. On the 7th ring, they finally answer. Yes? A gruff male voice, halfway to angry already. Good morning, Mr. Robinson, correct? Oh god, I forgot how much I hate talking in the phone. Who is this? My name is Leo, and I'm sitting here at the kitchen with Theo from down the street. I and several other neighbors have been staying here in his house while the power is off. It's nice to meet you, even if it's just over the phone. Likewise. His phone's tone says otherwise. So, I take a deep breath and get down to the business. The old woman in number 27. Silence. I know you and Theo have been talking about her situation. We have, yes. Grudging, non-committal, approaching annoyed. Alright then, great. We are, of course, very concerned for her. A 90-year-old woman alone in a freezing cold house without... She's 87. He interrupts. An 87-year-old woman alone in a freezing cold house without helping or power. Theo and I are genuinely concerned she won't make it through the storm. Silence. Mr. Robinson, are you still there? Yes, of course I am. I am waiting for you to get to the point. What a witch. Barely a dozen words into a conversation with this guy, and I can already see why Theo was so angry. It's his tone, I realize, more than what he says. He gives me nothing to work with, besides a very pointed impression that I am wasting his time. Fine, I'll get to the point then. We are asking you, as friends and neighbors, if you could let her stay at your house for a few days, at least until the storm clears up and the power comes back on. I just don't see why that's necessary. Is this guy a freaking idiot, or just a giant butthole? I look up at Theo, incredulous. He shakes his head, massaging his temples and clearly holding back grim laughter. I warned you about him, he mouths to me. As I said before, we are worried she won't survive the storm. She's lived in that apartment for decades and never had any problems. Yes, but she's never been 87 years old before. Have you ever even met Diana? No, I haven't, but I don't see how. She is the most stubborn woman I have ever seen in my long life. Hell will freeze over before she does. I guarantee you she doesn't want your help. Whether she wants it is besides the question, Tom. Theo speaks up, ingratiatingly taking the baton from me. I stifle a sigh of relief. I spoke with her earlier today. She's lost even more weight since I saw her in October, and she was shivering and swaying like a reed. The most recent weather update said the storm would let up by the end of the week, but every forecast so far has been wrong. Most of the city is still down on total lockdown, and there's been no word from the mayor about snowplows, let alone electrical repair. We've mostly got 5 more days completely snowed in, and it could be another week before people get their power back. Quite honestly, Tom, I don't think she'll last another 2 days. That's your medical diagnosis, eh? Tom, if you'd like to come see her yourself, I'd be happy to escort you across the street for a visit. Theo bites right back, a keen edge now plain in his voice. It's not a long walk after all. There's no need for that sort of tone, Theodore, especially not when asking someone a big favor. Hi, Crystal! Theo was right. Tom jumped on the first hint of anger with a truly obnoxious glee. Clear he'd been waiting for it through the whole conversation. How are you, Crystal? Go eat if you're hungry. The fox opened his mouth to retort, teeth bare, but I jump in and cut him off, holding up a paw. Mr. Robinson, how can we work this out? A long pause. What do you mean? He sounds almost disappointed. You were correct in that we are asking you for a big favor. After all, it's no small gesture to house a neighbor in their time of need. I said, how are you, Crystal? I know it's a lot of work and a lot of stress. I went to go get food, but store has nothing I'd like. Then go get restaurant food. Go get Chick-fil-A. No, actually go get like, I don't know. Cane's! Go get Cane's. Not everyone has the time, space, and patience to welcome strangers into their home. A nod pointedly at Theo. So, how can we help you with this? After all, there's no reason why you should do this alone. His eyes widen slightly, and he gives me a small smile. I love him. He's so cute. Okay, bye. I'm gonna beg my mom. Okay, have fun. Have fun eating your food money. What needs doing before you can take her in? If you're worried about her health while she's with you, we've got a medical professional on hand. If you're concerned about food, we've got plenty, and a skilled cook to put it all together. We've got strong young paws for shoveling, clearing space, transferring her over. We're trying to save her life after all. We are more than willing to put in the work for it. So, what needs doing? The words flowed so freely, I even surprised myself. This is far and away the most eloquent I've ever been over the phone. Though the bar has been set pretty low. Theo looks impressed too. I try not to think about how giddy that makes me feel. I still don't think she'll agree to this. Let us worry about that. All you two have to do is make space for her when she arrives. You two? I realize that now we haven't heard from Miss Robinson at all. Was she sitting quietly in the background, listening to our conversation, keeping her thoughts entirely to herself? Well, I suppose. I jump on a hesitant acceptance immediately. Great! Thank you very much for your kindness, Mr. Robinson. We'll start getting ready to head over right now. Right now? Yes, right now. We want to get her out of there as soon as possible. We'll be there within the hour, so please be ready for us. No, hold on a minute. It's time. It's my turn to let him flounder in silence. And God, does it feel good. My wife hasn't had the time to tidy up, so... His last pathetic excuse peters out before I can even respond. We hear a rough sigh crackle through the phone. Alright, within an hour. Excellent. Looking forward to meeting you in person very soon. Goodbye. I firmly hang up the phone and it's just the two of us alone again. How'd I do? I think you did phenomenal. His praise immediately makes me smile and I cover my mouth with a paw to hide it. Certainly better than I did. If it was just me talking to him, he would have hung up the moment I called him a crap-eating holier-than-thou freak face and we'd been even worse off than we are now. Gosh, you weren't kidding. He really is the freaking worst. Always has been. We have not so quietly hated each other for as long as I can remember. He and Diana hate each other too. Tom doesn't see eye to eye with anyone, unless they're willing to put him on a pedestal. And then they're looking up at him from the ground. Exactly. What about his wife? I noticed she didn't say much. Theo's eyes dropped to his lap. No, she never does. It's difficult to get a read on her at the best of times, especially when Tom's around. He tends to eat up all the air in the room. Maybe we can talk her to directly once we get there? I'm sure she'll be easier to work with than him. Hard to say. In that house, what Tom says goes. She cedes ground to him on every issue, no matter how small. In that way, she reminds me of my mother. Oh. Try as I might, I can't think of any other response. Well, Theo stands, his chair breaking the silence. We can talk crap about him later. Right now, we've got work to do. If you give me a hand with waking the others... I only now realize I just volunteered everyone else to help without their knowledge. Oops. In fact, I had volunteered the crew to do pretty much everything. Tom would barely have to lift a finger. Don't worry, I'm sure they'll be happy to help. Theo reassures me, as if reading my expression. I'll take the blame, if you like. You can say it was me who volunteered everyone. I stand as well, laughing softly. They'll never believe me. You know, there's no way you'd ask for help like this on your own. His ears droop. I realized too late that I spoke too quickly and too flippantly. That was uncalled for. Sorry. No. Unfortunately, you are quite correct. Just hurts a bit to hear. That's all. Seeing the look on my face, he elaborates, waving a paw. It's fine. I'm fine. You're fine. No harm done. We've got more important things to worry about anyway. Right now, anyway. With only the slightest bit of difficulty, we get everybody out of bed and downstairs in just a few minutes. The mood is muted due to the early hour, but tightly focused. All of us are clearly ready to do what needs to be done. Okay, everyone have your phones? We all nod. I'm guessing we'll need shovels once we get there. I have 2 sitting outside. They're plastic, but the metal ones are all in the garage, and we don't have time to dig it out. I have a metal one at my place. So do I. Great. You two fetch those. Stick together. You never know what could happen in weather like this. Meet us at 27 as soon as you can. Got it. Sure. Sure. Theo nods once again and opens the door, ushering us into the bitterly blasting wind. Snow! It feels colder than ever before. As I take the door from Theo to let everybody out, I see Ollie shiver and pull his coat tighter around himself. Hunter gives me a smile and a nod, taking the door in turn. Oh wait, what was that? Okay. I love Hunter. I'm so excited for Hunter Day 4. Oh my god. We file out onto what we think is the covered sidewalk. Artemis and Hunter immediately head for their houses, and Theo and I grab the shovels laying right next to the porch. The sheer volume of snow is almost unbelievable. Theo and Hunter's shoveling work from the previous day is basically unnoticeable. When I beheld it all 3 days ago, I felt wonder. Now I feel only fear and apprehension. I find myself looking to Theo for reassurance, and each time he gives it to me, in the form of his soft, gentle smile. The fierce wind whips the snow into uneven piles. The paths close to walls are the worst, with miniature hills heaved halfway up the sides of the houses. Cars unfortunate enough to be left out on the street are almost completely hidden. Vague shapes in the extreme expanse of white, punctuated by a side mirror or even a reflection of an exposed headlight. Nobody will be driving anywhere for quite a while. We trudge along in a single file, Theo at the vanguard, the rest of us following the path he makes. He does his best to pick up the shallowest path, where the snow is only knee-high at most. Finally, we arrive at number 27, the wind tearing at our coats. Theo gestures towards a narrow passage leading to the backyard of the house. He shouts to make himself heard over the tempest. Her apartment is back there. She lives in the back half of the house, and the folks in front are out of town. So we can't go through the front? Theo shakes his head. I already tried. Her door is in the backyard. Ah. This is going to be trickier than I thought. Not only do the snow piles constrict the already narrow pathway, but uphill entrance to said pathway is mostly blocked by a submerged car. Woo! How the freak are you going to do this? Theo's head and ears start swiveling back and forth, taking in the scene. I can almost hear the gears turning in his brain. He gestures for all of us to huddle up. Okay, she can't walk in this, and she'll never get down the driveway, let alone across the street. I'll have to carry her out, but I don't want to risk that until we've cleared the path a little. Theo's eyes flick to the house, and then to Rofi. Rofi, I think you'd better be the one to check up on her. I'll come with you to make sure she opens up, but after that, I'm leaving her to you, okay? Okay. Good, I'm counting on you, Rofi. I know. After a long moment of eye contact, Theo turns to me and Ollie. You two start shoveling. We'll need as much of this driveway cleared as possible. If we can get her keys and get the car out of the way, that's even better. Even if we have to put it in neutral and push it, every bit of space helps. I nod, glad to receive clear, direct instructions. Tell the other two the plan once they get here. Have them start clearing our path across the street to the Robinsons. Once I get you inside, Rofi, I'll be going across the street as well. I need to make sure Tom has everything ready. Maybe I can even get him off his butt and to help shovel, though I doubt it. As soon as you've cleared enough path, I'm carrying her out, no matter what she says. Everyone clear on their jobs? Yes, sir. Yes. Yes. Then let's get started. Clock's ticking. Ollie and I immediately dig into the driveway as Theo and Rofi vanish around the side of the house. Despite his aversion to cold, Ollie is good with a shovel, clearly an old hand at this. He and I managed to clear most of the bottom half of the driveway when Artemis and Hunter arrived, carrying stout metal shovels on their shoulders. Where are we dropping, boys? I love Hunter so much. You did not just say that. Theo needs us to clear up driveway so we can move the car, and then a decent path across the street to number 30. He's gonna carry her out, so say no more. Hunter immediately takes the shoveling with enthusiasm, and Artemis quickly follows, cutting efficiently across the snow-choked street. I find my gaze lingering on number 30, trying to catch a glimpse of its inhabitants. The curtains, however, are pulled tight, and only the faint light of shining through them suggests there is anyone home. I can't let Theo face them by himself, and if he and Tom start bickering again, it could jeopardize the whole operation. I look over at Hunter, tearing through piles of snow with a jaunty whistle. I think the boys have it covered. Tom will eat Theo alive if I'm not there to help. At that moment, I feel a tug on my sleeve. Hey, Leo? I don't want to tell you what to do or anything, but I'm wondering if we might be more useful inside. I was just thinking the same thing, actually. To be honest, I stick my shovel straight upright in a snow pile and clap the powder off my gloves. I want to help Theo talk to the Robinsons. Ollie's eyes widen in surprise. The husband is a real piece of crap, and it doesn't seem fair to send Theo and him in without backup. He nods slowly. Okay, that makes sense. I guess I will try to give Rofi a hand then. Oh, right. A flash of guilt colors my voice. I hadn't been thinking of Rofi at all. He did tell me how he works in the emergency department, but this is hardly a standard situation, and I bet he would appreciate other set of claws. I don't think he's used to doing this kind of work alone. Not sure how much help I'll be, but I want to try anyway. I know how you feel. Theo reemerges from behind the car and begins making his way over to, shaking his head and mumbling. How is she? Not good, even I could tell that. You'd think all this would have dull attitude, but no such luck. I felt bad for leaving Rofi in there alone, honestly. So, about that. I looks over at me. I nod. I decided I'm going to go in and try to help out however I can. And I'm going with you to the Robinsons. He blinks at us in surprise. Hunter and Artemis can handle the shoveling. And a clear path won't help anything if we can't get her out of the house, or if we have nowhere to move her to. Theo runs a paw through his fur and grins. You two are right, as always. I appreciate the company. Ollie, come get any of us at any time if you think it's necessary. I will. Leo, let's go. Together, Theo and I pick our way across the street, not quite sure what to expect. Theo knocks five solid times on the thick wooden door, and we wait. After a healthy pause, it opens, flooding the snowy porch with a lamplight. Well, come on in. You're letting in all the cold. We hurry inside, not needing to be told twice. I hate you, Mr. Robinson, you little weasel. Weasel. Anyway. Rough, grumpy-looking groundhog. Oh, that's a groundhog. Could only be Tom Robinson. He looks even angrier in person. He dipped, constantly furrowed brow in a tense forward-leaning posture, as if at any moment he might lunge. He ignores me entirely and keeps his beady eyes fixed on Theo, as if he were a bomb that might detonate at any moment. The woman standing slightly behind him wears an entirely opposite demeanor. Her entire body tucked tightly inward. Her eyes make constant little circuits of the room, almost as if she were planning the best route to escape. Well, where is she? The others are getting her ready and clearing a path. I just wanted to give you one last heads up before we bring her over. Tom nods impatiently, hands glued to his hips. Double checking us, eh? You should know by now, Theo, that I'm as good as my word. Doubtful. Theo ignores him and plows onward. Can we set her up in the living room? That feels like the best option for her comfort. You also have the rest of the house to yourselves. He attempts to smile. I know Diana can be a bit much. If she's in here, you'll be able to escape her if needed. Tom looses a non-committal grunt, ignoring Theo's olive branch entirely. She can be far more than a bit much, and you know that. I just hope she behaves herself. Theo's smile starts looking a little forced. I hope so too. So, what else needs taking care of? He turns pointedly to Mrs. Robinson, hidden as she is behind her husband. Beth? Beth, will you need a hand with anything? Help in the kitchen or anything like that? Theo trails off nervously. We all turn to her, including Tom. She looks first at him, then at Theo, then quickly down at her feet. No, I don't think so. Tom steps back in after only Tom steps back in after only a few words. We've only got so much food here, you know, and it's not as if we can go grocery shopping right now. His wife's eye flicked over to him, an inscrutable expression on her face. I looked past the two of them into the kitchen, noting an open pantry door with a healthy stockpile of dry and canned food inside. Well, from his tone, Theo has clearly noticed the same thing I did. From the looks of your pantry, I'd say you're doing pretty well. Tom's expression sours even further, which I hadn't thought possible. I seem to recall you saying that we could be snowed in for another week or more. That's why I agreed to help you with this in the first place. So unless you'd like to retract the statement, I want some certainty that my wife and I won't go hungry. Tom's voice catches and rips like a serrated blade, every consonant sharpened for maximum annoyance. I give Theo's sleeve a tug and step forward into the conversation. If that's a concern, we have extra food and supplies to share. I copied Theo's tactics and addressed Mr. Robinson directly. And we can bring clothes, towels, toiletries, and other stuff from her house, so you don't have to worry about your own supply. Well, yes, that goes without saying. As Tom attempts once again to center himself in the conversation, Miss Robinson looks at me for the first time. Her eyes are purposefully blank, but leave me out of this, they seem to say. Just leave me alone. Tom leans in a little closer, not so suddenly positioning himself between me and his wife. We are sticking our necks out here, you know. Do remember that. See. Wait, Rob, you like Theo now? I know, yes. Because I thought you were an Artemis guy. If there's a problem, you'll be hearing from me, understood? After I read the update, boy oh boy, I see. Yes, of course. For a long moment, Tom expects me like a bug under a microscope. No, Artemis is Minnie. Rough, I forgot where you were. He's trying. I realized to extend the argument, to find some foothold, some new thing to complain about. Very well then. Yeah. With a dramatic sigh, he gives up and makes a show of checking his watch. The day has officially started. He turns to his wife. I suppose breakfast is in order, eh? She smiles slightly. Yes, I suppose it is. Ollie? Oh yeah, you're Ollie. Ruff, guess who I am? You better be correct! There's two. Anyway. Bring my coffee up to the office when you have a moment. Davis should be awake by now, and I've got to talk to him about that HAIIIII job. Damn, Blizzard's gonna set us back months. I didn't win Hoko Pringle, I stayed for nothing. I see. Rofi? Yeah, that's one of them. Having apparently forgotten us, Tom turns and walks out of the room like a star actor leaving the set. Miss Robinson waits until his clomping feet finish climbing the stairs, and a door somewhere in the house clicks shut. Then she turns to us, her gaze fixed on her shoes. You'll have to excuse me, but... Yes! It is Rofi and Hunter. Oh my god, you're so right. Breakfast won't make itself. We appreciate you welcoming us into your house like this. She nods quickly and turns to walk away. Beth? Theo steps forward and calls out, raising a paw as if to catch her. She stops jerkily in the kitchen doorway, turning only slightly back towards us. Theo seems to realize his outstretched paw and awkwardly stuffs both back into his pockets. Thank you for your help and your support. His anxious thank you sounds more like an apology. For what, I'm not sure. Miss Robinson will do, Theodore. I'll have the couch ready for her in just a minute. Ugh. If Hunter was real, IDK if I could deal with bro. What do you mean? If Hunter was real, I would I would do everything I can to at least be friends with him. And with that, her stiff back frame ducks quickly into the kitchen and out of sight. For a moment, Theo stands and stares after her, absently wringing his paws. He mutters a quick curse under his breath and turns back to me. Well, that went about as good as it could have. Far better than I expected. Let's get out of here, yeah? I bet Rofi and Ollie are here already by now. I hope so. I feel like I'm more like Ollie, just like less awkward. I see. Wait, Raph. Who am I most like? I can't do small talk though. Small talk is so easy. What are you talking about? We head back, gratefully following the now mostly shoveled path. Thanks, boys. Hunter gives us a playful salute. I love Hunter so much. All in a day's work. Theo and I file around the side of the house and up to the apartment door. I turn the handle with an unwelcoming squeak and force my way into the house. The combined stench of cigarette smoke and mildew hits me like a wall. I recoil and Theo almost bumps into me from behind. Steady there, you okay? Yeah, sorry, just... I wave a paw in front of my nose. Theo shakes his head, rolling his eyes. It's always like this. Like Rofi without Hunter? Like Rofi but without Hunter, if that makes sense, because they low-key feed off each other. Wait, so you're... What are you talking... Like... What are you talking about? I'm Rofi, but without Hunter. You know what? Yeah, that makes sense. Try not to breathe too deeply. Like Rofi, but not crazy, for real. Oh, I see. As we step through the door, stomping our boots on a nearly destroyed welcome mat, it now reads, Wilgo. I hear Ollie's voice from further in. Diana, I think Theo just arrived. That was low-key paradoxical. Okay. We walk down the small entryway and into the cluttered living room. I spot them immediately. The old woman glowers warily from her distressed armchair, one milky eye glaring past me into nothing. Even bundled in a thick coat, she looks tiny. Ollie stands next to her, almost perched on the arm, looking surprisingly calm. Here they are, Diana. This is Leo, and of course you know Theo already. Sure do. Her gruff, graveling voice catches me by surprise. Considering how thin and frail she looked, I hadn't expected such a sharp, forceful tone. What decades of smoking will do to a voice box, I guess. Dog is a cutie patootie. Her eyes glide off me and focus on the fox. You sure took your time, Theo. Tom give you trouble? Of course he did. Give me 5 minutes with that son of a... I'll straighten him out. This woman is definitely drunk, I realize. She's good at hiding it, but her swaying movements and the lilt of her voice gives it away. Everything is taken care of. We're set to bring you over if you're ready to leave. I've been already. It's that puppy of yours who's holding us up. Wow, I do not like the way he said puppy. You mean Rofi? Ali says gently. Yeah, whatever his name is. I've got a bone to pick with you, Theo. What else is new? She ignores him. You've got quite the nerve sending some baby doctor to take care of me. That boy looks like he's 15. Ollie cuts in again. He's a certified healthcare provider. He's treating you for free. That's a pretty good deal, don't you think? Humph, I suppose. He's taking his sweet time, though. As if on cue, Rofi re-enters the room, stuffing what looks like a pot full of juice boxes into a beat-up old tote bag. Bro is so really reasonable and smart. Why are you, like... You are in love with Ollie. I take a moment to examine his face, trying to gauge how things went. I'd guess somewhere between not great and not awful. Alright, Diana. I've picked your monitor, test strips, needles, juice. I packed. What about that purse I told you to get? I see. She interrupts sharply. Yes, I've packed your purse as well. If you need or want anything else, we can always bring it over later. Ollie chimes in, smiling down at her. Yeah, I'll probably need a change of clothes at some point. Alright, Theo. We are pretty much ready to go. Great. Theo responds, clearly more than a little surprised by this fact. How can you not, glaze? Okay. I mean, I love Hunter and Rofi, but like, I don't glaze them. Let me just take a quick inventory here. And we can head out. As if Rofi and Theo starts going over the contents of the tote bag, Ollie gestures me over and then turns to the old sheep. Okay, Diana, up you go. Don't rush me, Oliver. I'm old. I'm not rushing you. You were the one who said you were ready. She laughs. I sound like a marble on a cheese grater and flashes him a yellow gap-toothed grin. Smart butt. Ollie giggles. The Iwi gathers herself, grips the arms of the low-slung chair. If Ollie was real, I low-key wouldn't talk to bro. Why? She pushes herself up about halfway and then falls back down again. Just hang on a minute. After a few more failed attempts, Ollie quietly offers her an arm, which after one final try she takes. 1, 2, and 3. He gently but firmly maneuvers her upright and waits while she gets her balance. He's so cool, it's honestly mad intimidating. Dude, if Hunter or Rofi was real, I would go up to them so quickly. Oh my god, I love your shirt. Where did you get that? Oh my god, me and you gotta, like, I love your vibe, you know what I mean? That'd be, and then me with Hunter. Oh, what's your name, by the way? I love you, Hunter. I mean, I love the name Hunter. He gently okay, anyway. Thank you. Of course. He turns around and addresses me for the first time. And just what are you looking at, Spotty? Spotty? What am I? Nothing. I'm just here to help if needed. Ha! Showing up once the hard work is all done. I see. I know your type. See how the mean old lady loves him? What? Okay. That's a sign, okay. I blink at her, momentarily at a loss for words. What's with that face? Ali mouths a little apology and interrupts. Theo, we're ready for you. Diana gives me a last disdainful once-over, then calls out for Theo. You better not drop me, you hear? She chuckles and then turns to Ollie. You know, I bet I could get him to carry you too. Want me to ask? Ollie giggles again. Not if you want him to make it there. I weigh quite a bit more than you do. Maybe next time, eh? I didn't have Ollie makes friends with a toxic old woman on my bingo card for today. But this has been a week full of surprises. Whoops. Leo! At the sound of my name, I tear my focus away from the confusingly dynamic Leo. Could you get the door for us? Oh, yes, of course. Hold the door open, wind tearing new breath into the musty apartment as Theo bends down and scoops up the old woman with surprising ease. He's so awesome sauce, Hunter is so awesome sauce, and Rofi too. I notice she keeps a tight grip on Ollie's hand, only letting go once clearly secure in Theo's arms. Here, Theo, right this way. I'll try to clear more of a path for you. Together, we guide the fox outside and around the house, with Ollie trailing closely behind. Theo is a sleeper build? Probably. Theo takes every step with diligence and heavy certainty. Eyes and limbs locked in tight focus. As he passes me, I sneak a glance at Diana. The older woman's sheep looks smaller than ever, pressed up against Theo's broad chest. Her one good eye remains fixed on Ollie, who keeps pace with Theo without tripping him up. He mutters soft words to her as they travel, voice inaudible over the wailing wind. At the end of the procession is Ropey, sharp-eyed and serious, leading Theo forward while keeping an eye close on his patient. After a collection of tense eternities, Theo mounts the steps of number 30, and Ropey pulls the door open. Theo immediately strides over to a plush sofa and deposits Diana on the cushioned seat. He's such a good, comforting guy. You're such a glazer. He kneels in front of her, fussing with her jacket and making sure she's comfortable. There you go, Diana. We've arrived. He attempts a well-worn smile. Thank you for flying Theo Airlines. Terrible in-flight service. Not even a drink menu. Bar service is for our VIP passengers, I'm afraid. Ali chirps, slipping a pillow behind her back. You should have splurged and gotten the upgrade. Unbelievable. This airline has gone to crap, along with everything else. Scanning the rest of the room, I spot Ropey in the kitchen doorway, talking in hushed tones with Mrs. Robinson. With her husband absent, she almost seems like a different person. She listens intently, nodding and asking questions as he runs through the contents of Diana's medical bag, meticulously copying his instructions into a small legal pad. He really seems to care. Though I can't help but notice the furtive, distrustful glances she sneaks at Theo. He seems to notice them too. The more time we spend in this house, the antsier she gets. Theo? He looks up from rearranging the same blanket on the same armchair for the 4th time. Huh? Oh, yes, Ollie. What's up? I think Ropey and I can handle these things here for a while. Beth has very kindly agreed to let us stay to look after her. He gestures to the now snoring sheep on the couch. If the two of you want to head back to the house, you can go ahead. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I'll pull up next to Theo and grab the reins of the conversation. We can check in on the other two, make sure they got back okay. Time to pack it in, Theo. We're not being helpful anymore. Well, You sure the two of you will be fine here alone? Oh, we'll be great. Don't worry about it. We'll be great. Don't worry about us. Theo inspects Ollie for a moment, a quizzical smile spreading across his face. You know, I'm actually not worried at all. You were really amazing with her. Ollie stuffs his claws in his pockets and shuffles his feet. Old people tend to like me. I don't know why. Well, that explains why I like you then. Okay, Grandpa, let's get you to bed. My stomach growls loudly. Maybe we eat first, I suggest, smiling sheepishly. I'm starving, and I don't want to make Mrs. Robinson cook for us as well. Right. Theo's face falls somewhat. Yes, I think it's time. With one final wave to Ollie and Ropey, the dog is so focused he barely even registers our leaving. Theo and I head for the door. Ahem. Leo, that was your name, yes? I turn surprised to see Tom standing stiffly at the base of the stairwell. I hadn't heard him come down the stairs at all. Yes, that's me. May I speak with you for just a moment? What's with the politeness? Why bother now after being such a huge douche all morning? You, want me to wait for you? If you don't mind, I won't be long. He nods, clearly a bit nervous, but settles in near the front door with his phone. Tom beckons me forward, and I follow him partially up the stairs until Theo and most of the living room is out of sight. I'll get right to the point. You seem like a nice kid, so I want to give you a little warning. Okay. How long have you known Theodore? I can feel my hackles rising at his question, but I keep my voice calm and even. A few months. Why? To be fair, I hadn't really gotten to know him until this week, but I didn't feel like telling him that. I didn't like the tone of his voice one bit. So not long at all then. Let me tell you something, kiddo. Don't call me kiddo. I've known that boy since he was in diapers. And ever since then, he's been an arrogant, insufferable little crap. I feel my claws extend, and I ball my fists to keep them from showing. Always high on something, always playing hooky, always causing trouble to his elders and betters. His parents were like that too. A lot of pride and too little respect. Well, pride goeth before a fall. And a rotten apple doesn't fall far. You know, he worried that aunt of his to death, poor thing. Oh my god. She was the only decent member of that family. A red-hot spike of rage pierces right through my chest and my stomach poised like a viper. Take my word for it, people like him don't change. If that's how they grow up, that's how they stay. I don't care what kind of good Samaritan act he's putting on these days, I don't trust it for a second. He points a stubby finger at me like the barrel of a gun. You better watch your back around him, you hear? Or at least watch your wallet. You scum-sucking piece of... Theo? I think I'm gonna head out now, but I'll meet you back at the house. Theo's voice anchors me. Reminds me why I'm here. It's not to argue with this craphead. This guy doesn't even deserve my time. Deep breath in, and down. I swallow my retorts and dust off my best customer service face. Alright, sir, I'll take that into consideration. Now, if you excuse me, Theo and I should be going. His eyes somehow became even beadier. And suddenly, I see the trap I almost stepped into. I had spent all morning catching Theo whenever he came close to blowing up. And with just a few obnoxious sentences, Tom had nearly pushed me over the edge. I remember Theo's words from earlier. That's exactly what he's waiting for. The moment I start shouting at him, he'll take it as proof that he was right all along. I've had enough of this man. I turn on my heel and stride quickly down the stairs. I catch a surprised and concerned-looking Theo by the arm and direct him forcefully towards the door. Let's go. It's almost a relief to be out in the snow again. Dawn had fully broken while we were inside, bringing welcome daylight and a sense of relief. I walk wordlessly through the drifts, grateful for the silence. Theo naturally passes me with his longer stride, then starts walking even faster. He must be eager to get home. I don't blame him for that. But he's really starting to leave me behind. I pick up my pace, eyes fixed on the back of his fuzzy head. By the time we reach the house, I'm practically jogging to keep up. Bruh. He holds the door open silently, and we both shuffle in. Theo dumps his coat and boots and immediately heads for the kitchen, steps quickening even further. The moment he reaches the table, he collapses into that same noisy chair with a whoosh of breath. He buries his head in his paws. Even from across the room, I can see him shaking. Bye, Vance. Whoops. Without a moment's hesitation, I find myself rushing over to him and laying a paw on his shoulder. His shivering doesn't even slow. Are you alright? I'm fine, he says slowly, voice muffled by his paws. I see visions of a younger Theo, hunched over the same table. I'm just so glad we weren't too late. Me too. Honestly, I half expected to walk over there and find her. I nod, then remember he can't see me. Yeah. I'm surprised she stayed there that long. I mean, what was she expecting? Honestly, I think she was gonna let fate take its course. I think she was just waiting to die. Theo's words pierced my skin and arced through my veins like a lightning. Sat in a cold house, in a howling windstorm, just sitting and breathing until the breathing finally stops. Who am I to judge? And to think, I almost freaked it up all too. What? No, you were great. You knew just what to do and say. You gave us all really good directions too. I was serviceable. but only because the rest of you were there to fill the gaps. His head resurfaces from under his paws. I really couldn't have done it without you. Without you. I know he meant all of us, but my heart flutters just the same. Well, we were here. Yes, you were, and thank God for that. Theo smiles wearily, and a rising sun sets his ivory coat alight. For the second morning in a row, we sit across from one another at the reliable old table, tired but content. Can I get you a cup of tea or something? If you don't mind, I prefer the whiskey. No problem. Where do you keep it? At the bar downstairs? Cabinet above the fridge. Should be shot glasses there too. Pour yourself one if you want. I give his shoulder one more pat, head over to the fridge, and swing the cabinet door open. Judging from the label, the whiskey looks top shelf. Must be for special occasions. The shot glasses, by comparison, looks cheap and very, very dusty. I take the bottle down and bring the glasses over to the sink, where I give them a quick rinse. I hauled it all over to the table and prepare for him a hefty shot, pouring with my heart. He deserves it. He deserves it after the day he's had. There you go. In one swift motion, he takes the glass and tips it down his throat, placing it back on the table with a long exhale. You know how to pour. I chuckle. All I did was fill it to the brim. Did you get yours already? Guys, should I take a shot? I don't take shot. I'm good. Thanks for the offer, though. Of course. What's mine is yours. I usually don't believe people when they say that, but I believe Theo. We sit in comfortable silence for a while, watching down chambers slowly through the icy. Watching down Clamber slowly through the icy windows. I sneak glances at him from time to time, watching as his face slowly shifts back towards worry. I can tell there's a question coming, and I think I know what it's gonna be. If you don't mind me asking, what did Tom say to you right before you left? He eyes me with a measured gaze. He seems to already know the answer. I weigh my options. Tom's a grade A dick. I'm not particularly inclined to believe his moral judgments about anybody, let alone Theo. Why should I upset him by repeating Tom's bullcrap? Then again, I don't want Theo to think I'm keeping something from him. It really feels like he's starting to trust me, and I don't want to jeopardize that. He warned me about you. Theo nods, unsurprised. He said you were putting on a good Samaritan act. That's that he's known you your whole life, and that people like you never change. Theo snorts derisively and reaches for the bottle. I sit in silence as he pours and downs another shot. Well, do you believe him? Believe him. Time slows as I study his face, inspect the tone of his voice. His soft eyes watch me as closely as I watch him, looking for clues to my answer. He doesn't sound angry or resentful. More than anything, he sounds tired. No, I don't. I mean, just look at you. You've worked yourself to the bone to house and provide for us. You've got out of your way to help people you hardly even know. I hate Tom. Compared to Tom. We had to twist his arm to let an old dying woman sit on his couch while we and his wife did all the work. If anyone's putting on a good Samaritan act, it's him. He's a poor actor. Theo lets out a bark of laughter, tinged with relief. Always has been. Honestly, I almost punched him. I was this close. But then I remember what you said. About how he always tries to get you to break first. Theo nods. That's his game. Bad faith manipulation. He'll push you until you're standing on the edge of a cliff, then tell you it's your fault when you fall. Now seems like a good time as any to ask. What exactly is your backstory with them? Theo sits perfectly still and silent, the resurging wind clattering against the windows behind him. You don't have to tell me if you don't want to. I had hastily, wondering if I've gotten too familiar. No, that's alright. A wry chuckle. I'm surprised to hear myself say it, but I don't mind telling you. Yesterday morning was so cathartic. I've actually had to hold back telling you more stories for your sake. It almost feels like a confession. Except when I confess to you, I feel no shame or fear. He rubs the back of his neck, embarrassed. Sorry, that was a weird thing to say. Nah, I don't think it's weird. As long as you don't start calling me father. Theo guffaws. Guffaws? No risk of that, I promise you. He settles more deeply into his chair and begins fiddling with the empty shot glass. Suffice to say, I made a lot of enemies growing up. That's shockingly easy to do as a Catholic, but I was especially disliked. And quite honestly, it was usually my fault. Oh my god, Catholic? Catholic. Theo stops mid-sentence, one of his ears flickering. I hear it too. Voices from the living room coming this way. Theo glances apologetically at me and quickly moves to put the whiskey away. He manages to close the cabinet door just as Hunter and Artemis enter the room. Morning, you two. Baxter smiles. Morning, you two. Hunter sounds as chipper as ever, despite all the excitement. I love you, Hunter. Does anything faze him? We really have to stop meeting like this. Artemis quips, heading straight for the fridge. I'm freaking starving, and I don't want to cook anything. Who wants a sandwich? My stomach makes a branch new noise I've never heard before. I very desperately want a sandwich. Me! Alright then, go nuts. Artemis drops a cloth full of witch makings onto the table with a thick, meaty smack. Y'all can make your own sandwiches. I believe in you. Oh yeah, of course I was gonna make my own. Unless... no. I'll put on some coffee. Theo putters around the room as the rest of us collapse on the food. If there's one thing I can do, it's make a sandwich. Condiments? Artemis calls from the fridge. Just mustard, thanks. Mayonnaise. Ew, really? Hunter, you don't like mayonnaise? Oh my gosh. Hunter, how could you? I freaking love mayonnaise, dude. It's so yummy, yummy, yummy. Yes, really. Mayo is delicious. Wait, Ruff, do you like mayo? But... Hunter, be very careful what you say next. Ew, condiments, I only... Ew! What? Are you okay? Badmouth mayonnaise and you don't get any mustard. I am in control of the mustard supply here, and I say you need to treat mayo with more respect. Wow, I didn't realize I was sharing a table with actual criminals. Well, now you know. Leo, what's your opinion on the condiment of kings? Artemis raggles the mustard at me threateningly. Hunter scrunches up his face even further. Mayo is nasty! I like mayo. Sorry, Hunter, but I'm with them. I am a proud mayo enjoyer and I've logged on. Wait, hold on. I'm going to save this here because I want to see Hunter's face. Ow. Unbelievable. It's so freaking over. No! Hunter, I'm so sorry. My king. Good answer. You may keep your mustard privileges. I knew you were a real one. Well, none for me. You can keep your nasty ass, nasty butt egg spread to yourself. Girl, you cannot say anything about glaze. Alright, I will. The condiment of kings is not fit for peasants after all. Don't you dare call. Hey, who are you calling a peasant? I'll give you 2 guesses. Not even that fancy looking coat you wear can hide the poverty of your spirit. Damn, Artemis! I'm so sorry, Hunter. Oof. What's wrong with my coat? Nothing's wrong with your coat. I love your coat. Artemis blinks. clearly regretting that comment, but Hunter quickly snaps back to normal. At least I have a coat. You're not fooling anyone with your 3 hoodies. I'll admit to being a little worried about that. How can you go out in those without fur? Skill issue. But for real though, feathers can be just as warm as fur. Mammals are always surprised when they hear that. Huh? That is surprising to hear, yeah. Also, I usually run a lot. A few small layers are enough. Do you own a real coat, Artemis? No. Well, I suppose it's better than nothing. Theo's phone vibrates loudly on the table and snatches it up. Tom? No, thank God. It's just Ollie giving me an update. Things seem to have stabilized nicely. Tom's the guy in number 30? Yep, him and Beth, his wife. I didn't get much of a look at either of them. Artemis's eyes search me and Theo. Are they good people? An easy answer springs to my mind, but I wait for Theo to answer first. The fox sighs, putting down his phone and rubbing his eyes. A muffled laugh escaped from behind his paws. That's a difficult question. I thought it might be. Tom sucks. I just couldn't stay quiet. Tom does suck. I have never liked him. You've known him for a while? He and my parents went to the same church. My father and him would always talk after Mass. I just remember wanting to get out of there, and the two of them wouldn't stop blabbing about interest rates and ROIs and the latest weather forecast. I guess maybe they were friends. Acquaintances, at least. I remember Tom's words to me right before I left. His parents were like that too. A lot of pride and too little respect. They must not have been that close. Beth, Miss Robinson, my mom, and I would always stand off awkwardly to the side, just waiting for them to get bored and pack it in. Me yawning. Did they have a kid you could talk to, or? No, they did not. They never did have children. From the look of his face, I can tell there's some ugly history there. Hunter shrugs. Kids aren't for everybody. Amen. He responds absently, then with some effort picks up the thread of the story. They've been together for, hell, I'm not sure, longer than I've been alive. So since the Triassic period. Not quite that long, no. Do you know how they met? They met at work. Theo takes a long sip of coffee. He is still the upper management for a construction company. He was his secretary. Oh, scandalous. Artemis' voice is perfectly flat, the voice of someone desperately trying to reserve judgment. I don't know the full story, but I know when he proposed, she said yes, and became a full-time housewife. And he's never stopped treating her like his secretary. That makes perfect sense, given what I had seen. He talks to her like an employee, in her own house. I feel my claws extending again, and I cram them into my pockets. I see. Artemis's voice could cut glass and corrode steel. He seems like the problem. He is. Theo turns to me. The way she behaved today, she's always like that. Dead silent whenever Tom is in the room. The kitchen table falls into a similar silence. Artemis looks like he's planning a murder. I can see him weighing the odds. Hunter is a million miles away, deep in inscrutable thought. So, how sad is the situation? Do you think she wants to leave, but can't? Honestly, Artemis, I have no idea. She won't talk to me. I have a bit of a spotty history with them. Oh yeah? Care to elaborate? Theo glances at me, and I understand his unspoken message. Not now. I'd rather not. Fair enough, no pressure. Artemis looks over at me, clearly having noticed our exchange. Suffice to say, I was a different person back then. Theo fiddles with the handle of his mug, not making eye contact. Worse. I was a worse person. Artemis nods in understanding. Gotcha. He graciously changes the subject. What about the old sheep? What's her name, Diana? Yes, Diana. The indomitable battle axe herself. She a clawful? 2 clawfuls, at least. And that's in a good day. Seems like you all handled her pretty well then. Hunter returns to the conversation with his usual smile. Which honestly amazed me. I mean, when I first left that apartment, I thought she and Rofi were going to strangle each other. I did not expect them to be even half ready by the time we got back. But Ollie was incredible with her. I have never seen her warm up to someone so quickly. They were even cracking jokes together. That's my boy. Artemis says proudly, puffing out his chest. Old people love him for some reason. That's what he said too. So, Diana, is she also on our crap list? No, she doesn't quite make the crap list. I like her quite a bit more than I like Tom. She's loud, rude, and generally difficult to be around, but at least you know where you stand with her. She's never minced her words, and she's never suffered fools. She just happens to have a very liberal definition of the word fool. And it's usually whoever is bothering her at the moment. She's been living in the apartment for decades, a real fixture of the neighborhood. Just her? Yes, just her. She has a daughter who lives overseas. From what I gather, they aren't on speaking terms. Another frosty, distant family. The world is so full of them. True. You know what? I think I'll tell you her background in detail if you're all interested. Yes, please. Sure. Oh my god, I can't do Theo's voice much longer. Theo rearranges himself in his squeaking chair, clearly excited to tell the story. As a kid, I just thought she was a pain in the butt, and the grumpy old lady fossil whose only passion was to hate things. My aunt always respected her though. She never let me say anything bad about her, not without a lecture. That's the only reason I left her alone, really. And then years later, when I learned her whole story, I realized MJ was right, as always. Theo smiles distantly. This is the first time he's mentioned MJ without that wistful sadness coloring his voice. He rubs his chin with a paw. Well, anyway, hopefully this will contextualize her a little. She's a city girl, born here in the mid to late 30s, back when this was still a manufacturing town. Though it's hard to imagine that now. Her father owned one of the largest factories in the area, but they had plenty of money. She was well liked as a child, good schooling, etc. Toward the end of high school, things started to get serious with her then. Boyfriend, a suave, greaser type with slicked black hair and a motorbike. I'm foggy on the details, but at some point the two of them decide that as soon as she turns 18, they're gonna get married. Oh, she turns 18? That's a little creepy. I find myself watching Theo closely as he tells the story. The way his eyes light up, the way his paw cut through the air. I never realized how much he talks with his paws. And so that's what they do. On her birthday, they go to the courthouse and get hitched. I'm guessing that doesn't end well. Shh, Artemis, don't interrupt. You are correct though. Her parents went absolutely ballistic. See, they didn't like their new son-in-law. Not at all. Remember, this is the 50s. Even for that time, her father was an old-fashioned man. Okay, he's rough. And he couldn't stand the fact his daughter had bypassed him and gotten married without his approval. They fought bitterly about it. She shook the whole earth, I bet. And in the end, he cut her off completely. So now it's just Diana and her man, scraping by, working whatever jobs they can find. Some months later, she gives birth to a healthy baby girl and names her after her mother, Rebecca. I don't think it did anything to bridge the gap between her and her parents, though. With a new mouth to feed, money gets tighter, tempers get shorter. she and her husband fight longer and more often. And then one day, he just hops on his bike and leaves. Just like that. Just like that. She was 21, with a 3-year-old daughter and almost nothing else. She was my age. Yes, I suppose she was. So what did she do? Whatever she could. Begged favors from friends for food, clothes, babysitting, slept on couches, dug through dumpsters, worked mornings, worked evenings, sometimes worked nights. The first few years were hell, but she never once went to her parents for help. And eventually her luck turns. She lands a job as a saleswoman for a big cosmetics company, and her career really takes off from there. Soon, she's traveling all over the country, meeting clients, building up her contact list. She was a saleswoman? That surprises me, given her sour demeanor. Though Theo's eyes wide twinkle. Difficult to believe, huh? I mean, she's so rude. Well, I don't know if she was always as bad as she is now. A lot of time has passed since then, almost 60 years. Also, she was gorgeous back in the day, a real bombshell. I bet that helped. Not that she needed it, but... Again, this was the 50s. It's a man's world back then, far more than it is now. She cut right through all that. A sharp business suit, black high heels, and zero appetite for nonsense. An absolute powerhouse. Why is Hunter looking like that? Because Hunter is sad. Oh, I wish I could hug you, Hunter. He speaks almost reverently. It's clear he admires her. Do you have any old pictures of her from back then? Theo roars with laughter. No, Hunter, I don't. You could ask her for some. I think I'll pass. Smart man. Anyway, business booms, she starts making money, hands over fist, and finally there's enough to eat and pay the bills, and then some. She buys the apartment, number 27, and she and Rebecca moved into it. Well, Rebecca moves in, certainly. Diana doesn't spend much time here. She was always on the go. I already know the answer, but I ask anyway. And how did Rebecca feel about that? A sad smile. Not good. I knew very little about her relationship, but considering how often Diana was away, it can't have been perfect. You said you don't talk anymore. They don't talk anymore, right? Hunter's deep golden eyes are slightly downcast, arms folded tightly across his chest. Theo shakes his head. They do not. I don't know when it happened. I don't know if they had one explosive falling out or just gradually drifted apart and fell out of orbit with each other. All I know is that eventually, when she was old enough, Rebecca left number 27 behind, and I don't think she ever came back. She never came back home. Maybe that was for the best. So now it's just Diana, by herself. Time passes as it tends to. She works, she travels, she works some more. She even had less reason to come back now, so she spends most of her time away. She reaches retirement age, she keeps working a bit longer after that. By this point, her company, the cosmetics corporation she had helped grow into a national claim, is itching to get rid of her. It might have been because she was getting grumpier and more argumentative, and probably because she wasn't young and pretty anymore. Her old contacts were aging and dropping out of the game as well. She could have migrated to upper management, I suppose. She definitely had the experience. I don't know if she was built for it. She wasn't boardroom material. She was too blunt, too honest. She won't brown nose scheme or schmooze. Spent all her time working and working hard. And quite honestly, people like that never become CEOs. Management starts to gently and soon not so gently shut her out until she basically had no choice but to retire. So for the final time, she moves herself back here to the city she was born in and settles into number 27 by herself. I cannot do Theo's voice anymore. My voice actually hurts, dude. And she's been there ever since, probably sitting in the same chair we found her in. These days, she doesn't leave the house. She even gets her groceries delivered. Probably her cigarettes too, if there even is a delivery service for those. Theo trails off, and we all sit silently, lost in thought. You know her story very well. Where did you hear it? straight from the sheep's mouth. Really? She told you yourself? Ah! Herself? Theo nodded, smiling broadly. She was absolutely sloshed. I was over there fixing, or attempting to fix her old boiler. And I got nosy. Picked up an old photograph of her and her daughter. Rebecca was real young. God, she was really beautiful. Easy there, Leo. Cool your jets. Yeah, hey, give me a break. My jets are cool. Anyway, I decided it was a good idea to ask her about it. He snatched it out of my paws and gave me the most vicious ear beating about not touching her crap. About 20 minutes later, I'm in the basement working on a boiler. All of a sudden, she came swinging downstairs, flash in hand, and starts talking. Told me the whole story. I'm sure there were details I forgot, but I was so enraptured by it, I stopped paying attention to the boiler I was supposed to be fixing. Nearly broke the damn thing. I snuck a look at Artemis, remembering Ollie's story about their first meeting. Judging by the wayward look in his eyes, the bird seems to be remembering the same event. Do you think she'd be upset if she knew you told us? Theo opens his mouth, pauses and furrows his brow. I'm not sure. He gives a guilty smile. Now that I think about it, I'm not even sure she remembers telling me. Maybe it's best if she doesn't leave this room. No problem. Time passes as it tends to. Oh, we're outside again? The sun makes its way across the leaden sky. The only object in this snowbound city is still in motion. And after only a scant few hours of daylight, it vanishes. Time is strange in this storm. It expands and contrasts at will, hours slipping away like shadows while the minutes crawl by. Ooh! Night finds me and Theo curled up comfortably in the living room. Theo's nose is buried in a book, and rustling of its turning pages the only sound besides the fire. I was admittedly not reading a book. I was enjoying some mindless scrolling time and feeling only mildly bad about it. As the sunlight slips away, Theo once again catches me in the middle of a big yawn. Yes, I agree. Frankly, I am goddamn exhausted. He looks it. He wears it well, though. I know it's early, but I've been thinking for the last hour that I might just get into bed for a bit and see what happens. In fact, saying it out loud convinced me. I'm going to do my best old man impression and go to bed at 6. Damn, 6? Alright, Theo, you do that. Honestly, I think I'll join you before long. As soon as Rofi and Ollie get home. Did I just say home? Theo smiles sweetly at me. Clearly he noticed it too. You know what I mean. Yes, I do. Theo shuts the book and rises from his chair. I'm sure it was a slip of the tongue, but I hope this place feels like home. At least a little bit. That would make me happy. And it would make her happy as well. She built it for that reason. Anyway, here's the back of his fuzzy neck, embarrassed. Sorry for getting all serious again. I just can't stop doing it. Don't worry about waking me. Just come up whenever you're ready. Alright, I'll be sure to make as much noise as possible. Good. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must prepare for my nap of intermediate length. Intermittent Godspeed. Bro, what's wrong with me? Theo departs, the creaking stairs orchestrating his exit. I'm not sure how long I wait. I may even have closed my eyes once or twice. It's hard to say. Eventually they return. I pull myself out of my cozy armchair and head over to greet him. Hey guys, welcome back. Oh, hi Leo. Hey. They look and sound absolutely exhausted. Everything sorted and settled? Can we put this whole mess behind us? No. Ollie says flatly, his voice entirely monotone. Whoops. I might be back tomorrow or the day after. Probably tomorrow. Just to check her sugar and make sure she's taking her medicine. Which she definitely won't be. And I promised I'd come back too. You don't seem excited about that. Ruffy shakes his head. Ollie, it seems like you two were getting along back there. He shrugs. She's kind of tiring. She's extremely tiring. She won't listen to me at all, and she talks crap constantly. Rofi stops himself and takes a deep breath. It's fine. I'm just ready to go to bed. Same. For what it's worth, I think you two did an admirable job. I shuffle my paws on the carpet. I'm sorry for volunteering, everyone. I know I should have asked first, but... Don't be silly. Rofi cuts me off. This is what I do, after all. This is what I'm trained for. He sways, eyes drifting close. And I'm literally about to fall asleep standing up. Okay, bedtime. Let me walk to your room. I wish I could sleep forever. Rofi mumbles as the two of them mount the first 3 stairs. Good night, Leo. Night, you two. Let's hope tomorrow is normal. Whatever that means. We'll see. Alone again. We all seem to have split off. Most of us to bed. Maybe I should do the same. No sense in delaying it. I'll have to sleep sometime. Rofi and Ollie's are already shut tight, with only faint light shining from underneath Ollie's. Their tiredness doesn't surprise me, really. We did so much today, and we started so early in the morning, for the 2nd day in a row. Standing silently in the dark hallway, the realization washes over me. We saved a woman's life today. She is alive and breathing because of us. Pride buoys up within me, an emotion I haven't felt in a long, long time. I open Theo's bedroom and slip silently inside, running through my nightly rituals as quietly as possible. I settle onto the air mattress, gritting my teeth at the unavoidable noises it makes. Sleep envelops me greedily, like it was waiting for my return. Oh, we're getting... Let me make... In time? What? What? This is backstory. Oh my gosh. This is Aunt, right? Oh my gosh. Were they supposed to go to his aunt? And it... Oh... I wake again. I feel nothing within and nothing without, save the telltale stinging of my weary eyes. In the end, the tears prevail. They always do. I know. A small gap in the caked snow and ice reveals a watery full moon, the only source of light in this dark, timeless place. There is magic here. A profound magic, ushered in on the moon's breath, that strips away pretense and reveals the world anew. In this place, there is no fear, no shame, no hesitation. The starlight has washed it all away. For the 2nd time that day, I rise softly from my crumpled sheets, driven by unspoken urge. This time, he is there. Couldn't sleep either, huh? His voice is low, husky, cracked from hours of silence. My own voice breaks. I clear my throat. A nightmare? I don't elaborate. He doesn't pry. In this moment, I can't help but drink in the sight of him. Bathed in shifting moonlight, the ripples of his clothes and blankets cast dancing shadows. His tousled white fur, the faint outline of his whiskers, the gentle, elegant curve of his snout. I look selfishly, feverishly, as if this opportunity will never come again, and he looks back. In this silent exchange, I'm not sure if he invites me or if I ask him, or if the two of us simply understand that this is what we want. I rise slowly from my bed and crawl into his, tucking the warm, soft blankets around me. I shift a little closer. He moves his arm slightly. I tilt my head. He nods imperceptibly. And I fall into him, pressing myself tightly against his side. A strong arm envelops me and pulls me closer. I dig my snout into his warmth and let out the breath I'd been holding for years. Oh. It escapes as a soft, shaky rumble, half joy, half catharsis. Frick, I needed this. I needed to be held, to be anchored. For so long, I'd been simply floating, drifting aimlessly through the world. I'm not crying. Here, tucked snugly under Theo's arm, I'm on solid ground once again. Nestled against his side, I feel tangible. I feel real. I don't bother controlling my purrs. They are my song to him. The simple proof of my joy. If we stay like this, just like this, I would sing for you forever. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, I gotta save this soon. Oh my god. We're so cute. Oh my gosh. Dude, day 4 was so good. Oh, so good, so good. I love promises to keep so bad. I'll laugh for days, bro. I know. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Palm. Thank you, Noah. Thank you, Cobalt, Mary, Ren. Oh, thank you, thank you. Dude, that was such a good... This game is torture. It's so cute. I love it so much. It makes me cry every single time. It's so freaking cute. I love it so much. It's such a good game. But let me tell you, my throat is completely, like, terrible. Guys, I can taste blood. It's really, really bad for me to continue doing Theo's voice. I can taste blood. Yummy, yummy. I love that metallic taste. Yum, 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 yum. Anyway, I don't know. Thank you guys for joining me. That was such a cute freaking, I love that. It was so good. It was so good. Dude, and Ruff, guess what? Hunter, I'm really hoping that Hunter gets the update next. Cause dude, I will be bawling my eyes out if it's Hunter. I'm so excited for Hunter, dude. Let it be Hunter. Please let it be Hunter. Anyway, Hunter and Ollie would be peak. Hunter. I love Hunter. Anyways, I'm gonna end there, guys. Thank you so much for... I forgot if Ollie's Day 4 is last. I don't think it is gonna be it. Like, there's a lot of Ollie lovers out there. But anyways, that is going to be the end of my stream tonight. Thank you all for joining me. It has been such a pleasure, really, you know, streaming Promises to Keep with all of you guys. And it's like, it makes me cry too. So, I love Promises to Keep, guys. It's so good. Thank you, bro. Anywho, who should I raid? Do you have anyone I can raid? Rough? Not really. Do we still talk to Thermami? Maybe I could raid Thermami. I'll raid Thermami. Anyways, thank you all guys for joining me. It has been so fun. I'll raid Thermami. Everyone, stay safe, stay respectful, have fun, and of course, stay fluffy. Oh my god, I haven't said that in 3 weeks or 2 weeks. But thank you guys for joining me. It's been so fun, and I love doing these little Promises to Keep videos. Promises to Keep has like definitely grown my channel out by a lot. But yeah, stay safe, stay respectful, have fun, and of course stay fluffy, guys. I love you all. Bye.